Sairam. In the God and as light and joy, and further on combined talk on God as light and joy, and not a leaf moves without God's will. We dealt with consciousness as pure witness, and further experience gained through mind having been illumined by the consciousness. The flow is like this: pure consciousness strikes and illumines. Intellect, mind, antakarana, produces a reflected light, and as a result, in our mind we may get pure experience or impure experience. This is the flow. Adi Shankara in Upadesha Sahasri, a gem of 1,000 verses, explains pure consciousness as the constant self-luminous witness that effortlessly illuminates all changing mental states and experiences, waking, dream and deep sleep, without itself ever changing, acting or being tainted by them. Just as the sun illuminates the world, or a lamp reveals object in a room, or like our face gets reflected in a mirror. We will directly take up the core metaphor for today's satsang, the face and the mirror, as explained in this great treatise by Adi Shankara. He says in a verse, the reflection of the self in the ego is like the reflection of a face in a mirror. Like a face, the self is different from its reflection, even though they are perceived as non-different. Don't go by the literal translation of the verse. This has a very deep meaning which we will understand as we proceed. Pure existence is pure awareness. I am. Only this I am, or this pure awareness, can make it possible for a jiva to be aware of anything in this world as well. If pure awareness is absent, not there, suppose, then no one can be aware of anything in this creation. Mind in itself is inert. It is awareness which lends itself, or mind borrows this awareness for the mind to be aware of any object. Long back, the first ever satsang talk in the YouTube channel in 2020, we dealt with this analogy Indradrishya Viveka, or sorry, first was Chitradeepa, later on, 5th or 6th maybe. We dealt with an analogy of fire and an iron taking the shape of fire, iron ball, appearing as a fireball. So, pure fire plus inert iron is equal to glowing iron ball, which appears as fireball itself. When you place the iron ball into the fire permeates every atom of the iron. The iron ball now looks like fire, glows like fire, and gains the capacity to burn other objects. One of the verses in this treatise. Let us together meditate on this. Pure awareness and the reflection. Say along with me, in the peak of your meditation, 41 minutes meditation, or the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma meditation, or the space meditation, so many meditations given to you over a period of so many years. Or in your own nididhyasana, after contemplation on any core Advaita session, there are hundreds of them, you are able to exist as pure awareness. That is objectless awareness, as Chinmaya says. Now, for a minute, think along with me. If suppose this awareness is not there, then how my state will be? The answer is, you will be existing like a rock or any inert matter. How will a rock feel anything? So if I don't have the awareness at all, then anything coming to me, any object, any event, any praise, any abuse, anything for that matter comes to me, if I am aware, not aware, don't have this awareness at all, and if I am inert, then I cannot be aware and experience whatever comes to me at all. So, it is clear that to be aware of anything in this world, and then further to either just exist as witnessing those things which are coming to us or experiencing them. We dealt with these two: witness, consciousness as witness, or mind mixing with consciousness and experience. For both the things, the primary requirement is that we should be aware. We should have this awareness. So, moonlight cannot be there if sunlight is not there. Children are not there if parents are not there. The iron ball of fire, looking like a fireball, cannot be there if fire is not there. So, if we do not have this chit, consciousness or awareness, then we cannot be aware of anything at all in this world. With this understanding, If we see the mirror analogy given by Adi Shankara in Upadesha Sahasri, when we look at a mirror, our real face represents pure, unattached consciousness. It is the source, pure awareness as revealed in the meditation. The mirror represents the inert mind or intellect, antakarana. The reflected face in the Upadesha Sahasri verse, it is called as Mukha Bhasa. The reflected face of ours in the mirror intellect represents our ego, Chidabhasa, Ahankara. So in the mirror there is an image that looks like our face, but it depends totally on both our original face and the mirror. That is the reflected consciousness is there to reflect anything when that something mind is there and our pure original consciousness is there, absolute consciousness is there. If our face is taken out, if the mirror is taken out, there is no relevance of our face showing up in the mirror. So if the pure consciousness is not there, if our mind, intellect is not there, then there is no relevance of our the pure consciousness reflecting on the mind intellect either. We are proceeding further. When the face is brought near a clean mirror, an image instantly appears inside the glass of the mirror. The mirror appears to contain a living, breathing face. It looks as if consciousness has physically entered into the mind. Seeing that face in the mirror, one can say, "Oh, it is me." So the jiva may think that the face in the mirror is real. The real face has not actually jumped into the glass. No part of the self has actually entered into matter. The intellect merely appears conscious because it catches the reflection of awareness. So can we say that pure awareness, like that one classic analogy of robber borrowing the moonlight to rob, can we say that our mind has somehow, or our intellect has somehow borrowed pure consciousness mysteriously in such a way that consciousness reflects in the mind, to be used by mind to be aware of any object, any event. So, either the mirror can be very clean mirror, or our intellect mind may be very clean. Or the mirror may be having cracks, it may be distorted. What does this mean? Our intellect is pure. That is, for anything and everything, taking the MBCA session, only sattvic intellect is used. That means the mirror is, intellect is clean. Taking the same MBCA reference, if instead of intellect, the chitta or ahankara is influences our mind, then the intellect, the mirror is distorted, it is having crack, or it is not clear. Though in the distorted mirror, the image, our face will also be distorted. What does this mean exactly as per MBCA session? Anything coming to us, any object, any event, any circumstances, good, bad, worst, supposedly, all of them get affected by our past impressions, our raga, our dvesha, our fear, related to whatever is coming to us. Let us take a very practical example to go through. Theories are always understood clearly and then forgotten, unless and until we are able to align the theory with our any practical experience or any practical example. Suppose someone who has all along been revering you, respecting you, very affectionate towards you, committed to be with you lifelong. And also stands up to his commitment for many years on, and one fine morning that person suddenly stops communicating with you, stops responding to your call, and he has gone away from you totally. So what is happening here? Let us go step by step. The fact that he has gone away gets figured by our brain, in our brain. But before that fact has come to us, we have existed as pure awareness in the morning meditation. And we get the news after getting up from the meditation. We get this information through his message or through somebody to whom he has conveyed that I am getting away from this person forever, for whatever reasons. Imagine you are in peak meditation experience, whether in the meditation or even after meditation, and you somehow get to know about this news. Will there be any extreme impact? No. Maybe for a few minutes it may be shocking or surprising, but you will soon return to that state and it will be as though you have not heard anything about that person. This is being aware. Or the second situation is being inert. Suppose you have not aware of anything around you due to your extreme sickness. Okay, then the news would not have even been figured out by your brain effectively. Now, only since you have this awareness, pure awareness, consciousness, chit, jnana in you, or you can say you are in that pure awareness, then and then only your mind can borrow that awareness from you. Okay? The news of that person leaving you is reaching you through your indriyas. Okay, you have read something about it or you have heard something about it, your karma indriyas. If you have not taken it through your sattvic intellect, then what happens? Your vasanas, your past memories of how respectful that person was, how he stood by you even when all others had left, what all he has spoken about his commitment towards you, they are all going on. They are all mixed with the news that you have received, and it's entering your mind. So now your mind has borrowed awareness. Okay? So the face as per the analogy in this treatise is pure awareness consciousness. The mirror as per this treatise is your intellect. Your face shown in the mirror is the reflected consciousness. The distortion or the cracks in the mirror are your past impressions, vasanas, memories about how sincere that person was with you earlier. यहाँ पे सब गड़बड़ हो गया. So, your mind is getting all the painful experiences because borrowing the pure consciousness, your intellect got this information, got this news which was figured by your brain and contaminated that or mixed that with all your past impressions about that person. You can take any other example in this case which are relevant to you, which has happened to you. In some commentary, it is mentioned that consciousness mixed with ego, and it mixes with ego and gets experience. This is wrong. Consciousness never mixes. Consciousness can never be impure. The light reflected on the mirror is pure light. The face reflected on the mirror, the face itself can never be anything different in its appearance. Of course, it is not your real face, but it cannot be significantly different in its appearance as compared to your face. That means the reflected consciousness has the same nature as pure consciousness. It is only your mind, the mirror, distorted due to your vasanas, your kleshas, about that person, about your past association with that person, which gets you bad experiences. Understood? Now, how chapter 18 in this treatise is called Tattvamasi chapter. Some of the verses in this chapter clearly gives this solution for that. Now, why we need solution? Because we have caught up in the delusion with all bad experiences about this person getting away from us. The process has been explained. So our mind is preoccupied with all the pain and the agony. So you can bring in any of your experience. Replace that with this person living experience. So you are caught up in the delusion. That means you think that your mind is real. You think that your experience, what you are getting, is real. So you are forgetting about the original face and you are forgetting about the reflected face. You have borrowed the light from that reflected consciousness, reflected face, and then forgotten totally. This is moha, this is delusion. You are forgotten by the pure, you are forgotten the pure consciousness, you have forgotten the reflected consciousness, original face, reflected face, and you are bogged down by the distorted mirror mind getting you. So you are thinking your mind is real, you are thinking your experiences are real, and you are caught up in that delusion. How to come out of that? Let's go to the few verses from the Tattvamasi chapter in the Upadesha Sahasra. For the first time he is giving this reference of this great treatise, wonderful treatise. A verse says in this chapter, the self is self-luminous. It is never an object of knowledge. It is that because of which the intellect, mind and senses are known. So normally we think, I know my thoughts. But who knows the thoughts? Thoughts come and go. The witness never comes or goes. The mind is like a mirror. Consciousness is your face. The reflection appears only because of the original face. If the mirror breaks, the reflection disappears, but the original face remains unchanged. Likewise, waking mind, dream mind, deep sleep mind all appear and disappear. The witnessing all the three states of consciousness never disappears. Another verse says, all modifications belong only to the intellect. The self never changes. Again, a reiteration of an earlier verse. Going by the mirror analogy, suppose the mirror is dirty. The reflected face looks dirty. Just because the reflected face looks dirty, will you rush and wash your real face? No. Similarly, mind becomes happy, depressed, confused, etc. But consciousness is untouched. The delusion is, I am unhappy. The truth is, the mind is unhappy. You, the consciousness, can neither be happy nor be unhappy. Huge lesson. Another verse says, knowledge destroys identification exactly as recognizing a rope removes the snake. We all know very well about the rope snake analogy. Accordingly, nothing new is produced, only error disappears. When we know that the snake is not there, it was an error of perception, then the rope is not newly produced, it is always there. So liberation is not attaining anything, it is not becoming Brahman, it is removal of our ignorance which makes us think that we are not the Brahman and we are otherwise. Another verse says, the self is always free, unattached and actionless. Bondage belongs only to ignorance. Suppose someone spends years after years seeing his face in the mirror and believing that I am that reflected face. One day he turns away from the mirror. Immediately the problem ends. Nothing has happened to the original face. Only the attention shifted from the reflected face, the mirror, to your original face. Another verse. Knowledge alone removes ignorance. No action can remove ignorance. Atma Bodha verse. You remember? Can polishing the reflection make you know your real face? No. You simply have to look at your be your original face. Similarly, meditation, ritual, charity, pilgrimage, service, etc., spirituality, all of them purify the mirror intellect. But only the self-knowledge reveals, I am pure consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi. So, we are summarizing the entire learning from the chapter 18 in few steps. Step 1, consciousness illumines the mind. Step 2, mind appears conscious. Step 3, ignorance says, I am this conscious mind. Step 4, knowledge discovers, mind borrows consciousness from me. This is exactly moon borrowing light from sun. Mirror borrowing original face and showing up. Bulb borrowing electricity and lit up. Ornaments borrowing their shine from the gold. These are the 4 steps. Shankara repeatedly points out, you never actually become the mind. The mind appears in you. Just as clouds appear in the sky, waves appear in water, reflection appears in the mirror. The mind appears in consciousness. The mistake is reversing the relationship. Instead of mind appearing in me, the consciousness, we think I am inside the mind. So let us summarize thus. This is exactly what we learnt in the Satchipur years, decades before. The mind is known, therefore I am not the mind. The intellect is known, therefore I am not the intellect. The ego is known, therefore I am not the ego. The witness of all of this cannot itself be an object. One cannot jump on one's own shoulder. The Anand Kutir sage rose. That witness is the self. The reflected I shines only because the original of the original I. Liberation is not the creation of a new self, but the recognition that the reflection has never been independent of the original. So all the 4-5 verses from chapter 18 and the step by step contemplation is the method for resolving the delusion of taking the reflected self to be real while overlooking the ever present reality that illumines it. Very deep, subtle subject handled with maximum possible clarity and with as much lucid as it is possible. Contemplate, and after a week we will deal with the same subject and see how Dridrishya Viveka gives us the same lesson which we have now had from Upadesha Sahasra. Hari Om Tat Sat.